Hi everyone, so it's been a while since I've made a Path of Exile video, and I just wanted to show off a Boneshatter build. So I've been playing a lot of Boneshatter since last time I made a video. I don't claim to be an expert, but I do love Boneshatter. And so with the new event coming up and the crazy new ascendancies, I wanted to talk about Boneshatter because I don't think it's getting quite the love it deserves. And so I've seen a few builds around. They've been going for, I guess, more defense over attack. So in this event, I'll be running Ancestral Commander as the ascendancy for your traditional like Boneshatter path of building tree. But I'll be taking Ancestral Defiance and Ancestral Endurance. We'll stack our Endurance charges as our defensive layer, and then Ancestral Defiance will help make us super tanky. And Boneshatter is traditionally already very tanky, so this just buffs us up a bit. Now, a lot of other people have been going with like Toughened Skin and Born Under Fire to convert that elemental damage, but I don't think it's needed, in my opinion. I think we can push some more DPS out of it. Path building at the moment doesn't simulate it, but I reckon the way to go is Ancestral Reach, because we can stack our non-val skills targeting one additional nearby enemy. We can stack that because you can gain an additional nearby enemy out of the tree, which I'll show you in a sec. And then strike skills also target previous location they were used at. So I'm hoping that if this works how I think it will work, it will make our single target damage like double. I'm hoping almost double. So I'm hoping that that will really impact our bossing times, because Boneshatter does struggle with the bossing a little bit. It can be a bit slow compared to your more glass cannery millions of DPS type builds. So looking at our path of building tree here, as you can see, it's a pretty traditional build tree in my opinion. We make use of our Divine Flesh paired with 4th Vow to convert our damage taken into chaos damage, our physical damage, making us pretty tanky and really helping that survivability, especially since the physical damage nerfs of the last league. We're also stacking our endurance charges. We've got one there, one here. Oh, I will point out that this is a level 100 build. It's showing 125 because we've slotted in our Marauder Ancestral Commander duel. So normally you wouldn't have to spec this, like it will be the ascendancy in the event. We're taking Unwavering Stance for our stun immunity. I absolutely hate stun in this game unless you're using it for cast on stun. I hate it, so I always take that pretty much on all my builds. We're also taking one of the new anoints, Tenacity. So you gain some maximum life, but the transfiguration of body really helps with the attack damage. All of those maximum life nodes we've scattered around the build, we get some of that bonus as attack damage, so that really helps. And as you can see, we're not doing too bad at 9 million DPS. I will say that that is burst DPS. We're also running our Watcher's Eye to help with our life, our mana, and increases the damage reduction we're taking while using determination. And our Timeless Jewel, which converts to this node here to Divine Flesh for us. That's key. And so as I was saying before, the non-val strike skills target one additional nearby enemy, so we'll have 2 additional nearby enemies, which will really help our clear. People are probably wondering why we're taking Feller of Foes. Well, because our accuracy is a bit of an issue, because we can't take Undeniable, which usually solves all our accuracy issues. In my normal Boneshatter build, I'll take Undeniable and over here Precise Technique, but we sort of can't. We're a bit tight. You can, if you can get that accuracy up above your maximum health, you can take that Precise Technique and gain some additional damage out of it. It can be quite the boost. but I am running a little bit of crit, a little bit of crit chance, which helps boost those numbers. Now, I did say this is burst DPS, and that is because we are running a war banner, which will increase our accuracy, and we're also running berserk. So we're feeding a little bit of a rage loop. So we run berserk and this tincture right here. So this tincture, we gain 3 rage on a melee weapon hit. So essentially you can run berserk until the mana burn rate overcomes your mana leech. So I've got quite a bit of mana leech here, and that comes from one node, this little mana life leech node here, that sustains us for quite a while. That tincture and berserk combo just goes on for ages. Like, you could probably spec harder into that, but it's more than enough. Usually you hit the war banner, you hit the berserk, you hit that tincture, your DPS goes up to 9 million, and whatever you're hitting will die. It's quite effective. I'm also, which is a bit unusual, running Petrified Blood. This is so we get some like overleech. This is a change to how I normally run Boneshatter. I don't normally run Petrified Blood. I also am running Purity of Elements for easy elemental ailment immunity. It also frees up some of the slots on my like items for things other than resistance, like a bit more life or something else. It gives me more trade flexibility, so I really like to take that. Then we've got Precision, Enduring Cry, and I also run Poacher's Mark. So I found that sometimes you'd run into mobs that are immune to leech, and so this helps keep life and mana flowing on mobs that might be immune to leech and things like that. It also reduces the physical damage or like the armor of the mob you're hitting as well, and it increases your physical damage, so it's quite useful. And I run, which is also unusual, automation with Blood Rage and Molten Shell, so it just goes off all the time, because then I can run a level 20 Molten Shell. Otherwise, normally, I guess you run a lower leveled Molten Shell with a cast on damage taken. It gets a little finicky sometimes if you want to maximize that uptime. I'm lazy, I just go with automation Molten Shell, and I don't like clicking. I try to minimize the number of buttons I have to click, so I have Blood Rage on that, because why not? And that is pretty much the build. In terms of flasks and the items that you'll see in the Path of Building link that I'll put in the description, this gear is from the latest league, from my last Boneshatter character that I made. I'm a dad, I don't have hundreds of hours to put into my items and to play the game, so these items are far from the top tier, but I feel like they're a good middle ground, they're good achievable items, mainly because I managed to get them in, just playing casually through a league. So I think they're a good target, and most people will be able to get items like this after not too long. Something to point out, I made this mistake when I was building the character the first time. Arn's Anguish converts your endurance charges into brutal charges. That means it eliminates your endurance charges. So I remember buying this item and equipping it and going, where do all my endurance charges go? I should have endurance charges and brutal charges. No, it converts all of them. The only way to get both after that is to pair it with Ralakesh's Impatience, which allows you to get your endurance charges back. So these two work in tandem. They don't really, like, you can't run Arns without Ralakesh. So if you're going Arn's Anguish, make sure you have Ralakesh at the same time. Another good boot that can work sometimes is Death's Door, if Relicash impatience is really expensive. I really like Death's Door boots. So you'll see that you get some armor and energy shield, but you get +1 maximum endurance charges built in, and you're immune to bleeding, which is really helpful. And that increased elemental ailment duration on you doesn't matter. You got purity of elements. You're immune to elemental ailments, which is great. And I guess the last thing I would have loved is a Progenesis. And I did end up getting one, but on a different character, not on the Boneshatter character. So I was moving it around. But that is an expensive item, and it's a little bit of a chase item for casual players like me. Bottled Faith is a little more achievable, usually about 10 to 15 divines in a league. So those are the items. I crafted this axe. There's plenty of crafting guides out there on how to make this axe. You just spam a lot of essence and then do some shenanigans with the crafting bench. If people want to know more, sure. And ultimately, you can level any marauder with a physical based spell. Like Sunder is a good one. I like to level using Sunder into this tree. So I just wanted to put this one out there because I feel like people are doing Boneshatter a little dirty by not giving him the Strike Echo. So I'm very excited to see how that actually works in game when the event is released. And maybe I'll do an update to this video once I hit end game and get my 4 ascendancies and all that, and see how it panned out. Hopefully, fingers crossed, double the damage on bosses. That'd be really nice, but we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know all the mistakes I made in the comments, and I'll see you all next time.